Next is Sir Pipip Arifai Hasan, PhD. Please take your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Selvina, I think. Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the time to talk in this discussion. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Saya tentunya bukan seorang ahli militer, ya sudah pasti itu. Bidang saya adalah bidang yang berkaitan dengan studi Islam. Oleh karena itu, saya akan memfokuskan pada pembahasan yang berkaitan dengan filsafat sejarah. So, because I'm not a military expert, and I'm just a lecturer in Islamic studies, so I will focus mainly on the aspect of philosophy of history in discussion of Israeli and Palestinian war, Israeli and Palestinian conflict, which last happened in, I think, in last month. Yeah? So I'm very grateful to Pak Captain Nimron and also Mr. Syed I forget Rizvi, yeah, Rizvi from India, who presented very let's say comprehensive and complete picture of the balance between Israeli and Palestinian military power. Saya akan mulai dengan satu diskusi tentang apakah sejarah itu mempunyai direction, mempunyai arah, ya. So first I will talk. I mean my main discussion is on the directionality of history. As we know, there are many theories of history and philosophy of history, how to see the events in human history. And I will see this Israeli and Palestinian conflict in terms of how it will lead to some new situation. Saya percaya bahwa konflik Palestina Israel atau pendudukan dan penjajahan Israel terhadap Palestina, walaupun sekarang ini kita tidak bisa yakin atau melihat dalam waktu dekat akan terselesaikan dan Palestina akan mendapatkan haknya sebagai sebuah bangsa untuk mempunyai negara yang independen, tapi saya yakin berdasarkan kepada teori-teori sejarah dan fakta-fakta sejarah yang terjadi di masa lalu, pada suatu hari nasib bangsa Palestina akan berubah dan penjajahan akan Israel terhadap Palestina akan berakhir. Walaupun kita tidak tahu persis kapan itu akan terjadi. So from the point of view philosophy of history, Israeli occupation of Palestinian land will not last forever. It will change, and I'm sure that Palestinian one day will have their own country, their own independent country, and they will be free. And this is, let's say, what we call as quote unquote historical law, historical law, and what we call in Islam as sunnatullah, which apply to all events in human history. So if we try to summarize some of the philosophies of histories available in our time, in our at least in my reading, there is many historians believe that, for example, from people from religious background believe that history is follow a divine order or reveal a large pattern. Or maybe, for example, like other philosopher, for example, who came from Enlightenment age, believe that history will lead to something progressive, that a human being will lead to the orderly situation, or to the advance of a human being. And for example, like Hegel, Hegel believed that conception of history as the unfolding of human freedom. I mean that freedom will continue to progress, and every situation. For example, if a government of a ruler try to prevent freedom, it will not last forever. Someday people will have their own freedom. So human history and human being in the world will have their own freedom, and this cannot be prevented, according to Hegel. Also, other philosophers, for example, offer another theory that human history is from the point of view of civilization, go through the same stages, because human nature is constant across history. They are always change. They always change. And for example, like Immanuel Kant believe that rationality and progress is inherent in human being, because of the progressive effects of rationality and the unfolding of modern European economic system, like what Adam Smith, for example, said that human being in progress, which marked by modern European economic system, and also materialist theory of the development of economic modes of production, for example, Marx and Engels, that human being will lead to class society, for example. Of course, not all these theories can be, let's say, valid, yeah, because, for example, Marxist theory of history, for example, is not valid anymore now, because we know that communist countries now already become capitalist countries. Even China always, all the days, still maintain the political structure of communist party, but economically, China are the same with the United States, capitalist country. Yeah. Also, for example, another theory of reading of world history in terms of the rise and fall of civilization, races and culture. Spengler and Toynbee portray human history as a coherent process in which civilization pass through specific stages of youth, maturity, and senescence. Yeah. So, every nation will have their own rise and fall, because of some causes happen to them. And other theory, for example, like that human being, human societies has undergone stages of society, from early agrarian civilization to industrial civilization and informative civilization, digital civilization. It will always change toward, for the optimistic point of view of history. It will lead to more or better human being society. Also, there is also a threat for this kind of theory, which say that human being is always in progress, but as we know, we are witnessing global environmental degradation. Yeah. So this is a threat for the future of human being. If we don't care about environmental degradation, pollution, and air contamination, for example, it will lead to the doom, to the destruction of human life. Yeah. But I believe that the optimistic point of view of history will say that human being can solve the problem. Yeah. Also, another cause, another factor, for example, which we have to see, is about the global transmission of disease, for example, like what we are experiencing now, coronavirus 19. It is also a threat for the future of human being, or a threat for the progress of human being, which envisioned by Enlightenment thinkers or by other philosophers of history. From say Islamic, some Muslim philosopher, we can list, for example, 4 principles, yeah, which taken out from Al-Quran, for example. 4 factors are effective in the rise and decline of society. First is injustice and justice and injustice. The second is unity and disunity. The third is performance or non-performance of enjoining good and forbidding evil. Yeah. And another factor is moral corruption. This is the four factor which will affect human society, a nation, or global civilization. If we are we come into this situation, history will have will not end, but we will have some kind of the fall of human being. For example, like go back to the situation when we don't have any technological advance like we experience now. Jadi,
excuse me.
Ya, saya mengakhiri ini, ya mengakhiri dikarenakan 4 faktor ini dan dikarenakan beberapa teori daripada sejarah yang sudah saya sampaikan tadi, jelas bahwa saya terapkan kepada situasi Palestina dan Israel, maka situasi di mana bangsa Palestina sekarang tidak mempunyai kemerdekaan, tidak mempunyai negara, itu akan berubah berdasarkan teori-teori sejarah dan fakta-fakta sejarah yang dialami oleh manusia. Banyak sekali teori-teori yang bisa mendukung itu, baik teori yang berasal dari para filsuf non-agama, ya, ataupun dari filsuf Islam, ya, yang meyakini bahwa apabila sebuah masyarakat atau sebuah situasi di mana tidak ada keadilan dan kemerdekaan, maka tidak ada moral, ya. Penjajahan itu sendiri merupakan sesuatu yang tidak bermoral, ya. Dan juga tidak ada upaya untuk memperbaiki anjuran untuk berbuat baik dan untuk mencegah perbuatan-perbuatan buruk, maka situasi itu akan berubah. Demikian juga situasi di Palestina dan Israel akan berubah sesuai dengan hukum-hukum sejarah. Thank you very much for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.